Early signs of a rift within the PDP were fueled in February by the appearance of campaign posters in Kaduna bearing pictures of Governors Sule Lamido of Jigawa and Rotimi Amechi of Rivers State as the presidential and vice presidential candidates of the party for the 2015 elections. The individuals involved moved to dissociate themselves from the posters, and the party issued strong denials of any such moves. A further indication of the internal divisions saw the emergence of the PDP Governors Forum with Akwa Ibom State Governor Godswill Akpabio as its chairman. Although the Governors Forum was dominated by the PDP, the move was largely perceived as a measure to divide and check the rising influence of the Amechi-led forum. Then came the contentious Governors Forum election, which Amechi was purported to have won with 19 votes against his opponent, Governor Jonah Jang's 16. This ensuing controversy effectively divided the forum. Governor Amechi was eventually suspended indefinitely from the PDP for alleged anti-party activities.
We have set up an investigation panel immediately because the suspension of Governor of Rivers State, Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi, from the party is done pending the outcome of the investigation panel.
Shortly after, on July the 9th, a small minority group in the Rivers State House of Assembly attempted to take over with the aim of impeaching him. The National Assembly's probe into the matter indicted both Governor Amechi on one hand and the President and First Lady on the other as being behind the crisis.
Your Excellency, this convention...
Things came to a head during the PDP Mega Congress held on August the 31st to elect a new national exco. There have been several issues in contention, including the legitimacy of Bamanga Tukur's chairmanship of the party. In a dramatic twist, several party leaders walked out on the special convention at the Eagle Square in Abuja. They included 7 PDP governors: Murtala Nyako of Adamawa, Sule Lamido of Jigawa, Rabiu Kwankwaso of Kano, Abdul Fattah Ahmed of Kwara, Muazu Ali of Niger, Rotimi Amechi of Rivers State, and Ali Wamako of Sokoto. The break within the PDP was now complete as the G7 governors formed the core of a faction within the ruling party called the New PDP, chaired by the party's former National Secretary Abubakar Baraje.
We have several governors all along here. Yes. For the past 2 months, they have been throwing the rules and trainings of Nigeria, consulting. Not only that, they went finally to the chairman, Bamanga Tukur. Our progress, our complaints are all missing. That is the departure from that case and this one. I let you better than this.
Meanwhile, the leadership of the opposition All People's Congress were openly courting the members of the breakaway faction, most notably during a visit to Governor Amechi in Port Harcourt in early November. Shortly after, the Supreme Court upheld the legitimacy of a leader of the New PDP, Olagunsoyo Oyinlola, as the main party's national secretary. The PDP responded by suspending him.
The National Working Committee, in line with its constitutional rights and the provisions of the constitutions, has, after preliminary hearings, suspended from the PDP Dr. Olugosoye Oyola.
With the announcement of the movement of the breakaway faction of the PDP to the opposition APC, it may just alter the entire political calculations within Nigeria's body policy, even as the country draws closer to general elections in 2015. But how effective this may eventually prove depends on how well the new alliance holds together. Charles Aruka for Channels Television News.
Well, anyway, many thanks, Charles. When I saw that report on the news at 10 yesterday, quite a detailed one, chronicling what has transpired before the big one yesterday. Joining us to look at the APC G7 governors merger this morning is Kenneth Odidika. He's a legal practitioner. Good morning and thanks for joining us. Did you see it coming to this?
I find it quite funny they had said on several occasions that there is only one party in Nigeria, and that is PDP. All these people belong to PDP. You are dissatisfied about something, you step out, and then you come back again. There is no if you think about it, what are the ideologies of any of all these parties? There are none. There is only one thing they are targeting: their pockets. Though maybe using the word pocket now might not satisfy the definition, because the kind of things they do now go beyond pocket. The people that stepped out yesterday into the arms of APC were the same people that this APC have been calling thieves, rogues, over the years. Now, all of a sudden, they have become saints. So that tells you that the politics that have been played in Nigeria has nothing to do with the interest of the every Nigerian. So I'm not surprised they left, and I won't be surprised when they also go back.
Do you think they will go back?
You know, initially when this happened, the first we got when the story broke, we were all in the newsroom, and first it was 7, and not quite long we got a call from the Niger State government spokesperson to the governor, and he said, no, my governor, well, is out of this. And known full well that he's always been in the forefront speaking on behalf of the G7. Series of meetings they've held, we've always seen the governor of Niger State speaking on behalf of the others. Did that come to you as a surprise when we saw, well, that particular statement from his from his aide?
Now, if you've been following Babangida, what's his name again? Ali Umar, right?
Yes, sir.
He has said before that, look, we are open to negotiation. That is not the stand of a man who's fixated on anything. He said, we are open to negotiation. All these movements by these last 10 politicians, final 10 governors, their movements are geared towards protection. Remember, one of their demands from the president was, assure us that there will be no persecution. So that tells you really that they have accumulated so much crimes, offenses, that they know that when they leave office, when the immunity is removed, that the EFCC or any other such security agency could come after them. So their problem is, how do we get protected? Having committed all we did in the past 7, now will end up in 8 years.
But that shouldn't be any problem.
For who?
For them, because they've always said, well, something quite contrary to what you're trying to paint. Because if they say they've always worked for the people, then you shouldn't be afraid to face what comes your way when you leave office.
So why were they demanding, if they've been so wonderful working for the people, why were they demanding that they should be free from prosecution after leaving office?
Can they get such protection when they move to another political party? Just
because they couldn't get this. You see, what they're trying to do is to try to shake the president to see whether you say, okay, come, let's negotiate again. I'll give you what you want. That's what they're trying to do. You see, first of all, there's something else that I didn't quite understand, whether they should call it a merger. When 1 or 2 lawyers from my firm go to another law firm to work, that's not a merger. A merger is if my law firm decides to merge with another law firm. Just like CPC, AC, or ACN, and what other one? MERS. Not a few characters leaving one party to go to another, and you say there's a merger. What happened is that Chibika Mechi and 3 of his colleagues decided to move over to another party. That's not a merger.
So we can call it decamp.
They decamped and went to another party. That's what they did. That's not a merger.
But now that brings us, you're a lawyer, that brings us to some legal angle in all of this, because the case between even the same